So the Giants offense had a rough day against the Rams defense. This was a very winnable game. The Giants could have gotten their first win of the season. I thought it was, as a whole, a good bounce back game for their defense, but their offense wasn't great, and Daniel Jones was a huge part of why their offense wasn't great. He has, listen, there's a lot of things I really like about Jones. There's a lot of things he does really well. There are some things he does very, very poorly, and the biggest of which is he hesitates, and quite frankly, he kind of plays scared, where he'll make these decisions that, he's timid out there, and you don't want a timid quarterback. You want a quarterback who's willing to sort of, take chances, or at least not hesitate and make quick decisions, and Jones does sort of make longer decisions. Here's what I mean. We'll start things off with this play, where the way it's going to work is, I'm not sure if it's actually just a straight up tight end screen, but the tight end is going to start off blocking and then run to the outside. You have multiple receivers who are going to run deep routes, and so, the two LA players who are in front of them, they're going to be covering those two Giants players. So basically, the closest next player who could get into the play to cover up the tight end would be the one who I have circled in white. That's the LA player who could get closest. And watch what happens right when this play starts to develop. So Jones is looking at his tight end, and you look at down the field, the LA player notices there's a tight end wide open. So for Jones, you have to get the ball to your tight end as quick as possible if you're going to make this throw. This will give your tight end an opportunity to run after the catch and potentially make a move and be able to pick up the first down. If you can't, it's okay. But, this is a 3rd down and 12, so you want to get the ball out right away. That's the goal. But watch how long Jones is going to end up waiting to make this throw. He ends up running backwards several yards, then makes the throw off balance, and it is a catch, but for a loss of yards because Jones just waited too long. And had he made this throw a lot quicker, they could have definitely gotten some yards. I'm not sure if they get the first down. It probably would have taken a broken tackle. But, one broken tackle, and that is a first down. And also, there's an opportunity for a broken tackle if you get it to your player quick enough. But there was just not enough. You can't break a tackle when you're getting tackled with the ball in your hands, leaping up in the air to make the catch. I realize there is a defensive lineman sort of in the area, so I'm assuming that's what kind of threw Jones off. But still, you got to find a way to make that play. This one was another one where it's, again, zone coverage. It's a little zone buster right here where you have two Giants players who are eventually going to get into one LA player's zone. And so the idea is, only one Ram can be in that area. He can only cover one New York Giants player. So because of this, it now means that there should be another one open since there's two in that one zone. That's the way this play is designed to work. And now once they start their routes, you notice that it looks like there was a bit of, this wasn't perfect by them. I think they probably should have been spread out a bit more. That was probably what they were designed to do. But the reason why I've circled one in particular is that he is the guy that Jones should throw this ball to. He's not wide open. He's only, he's not that far down the field. He's open, not that far down the field. It's a 2nd down and 11. This will only give you about 5 yards or so. Unless he can do something incredible after the catch. But you know what? A 3rd down and 6 is still a pretty good situation. And for Jones, this is what he should be doing here. He still has to fire it there, make a 3rd down and medium where you can open up the playbook a lot more. However, Jones doesn't like what he sees. Instead, he's going to decide that he's going to then just throw it to the halfback in the flat on the bottom of the screen instead, despite the fact that that's actually much less open. And so that's what he's going to decide to do. But again, there's pressure. He ends up getting sacked, and he actually loses the football, although also recovers it. It's little things like that where it's like, maybe the halfback in the flat could have been even more open, but he probably wouldn't have been. And you know what? The halfback probably at most was going to get like 5 yards anyways. So you might as well just take the 5 yards. Just make a little low pass where it's not going to be intercepted, and you're fine. But again, it's little things like that. It seems like Jones hesitates. He sometimes waits for a perfect play as opposed to just making a play that is a good one. Because when he's not hesitating and when the read he's looking at is a good one, he's very effective. Like this one. This one's a great example of a good play. It's going to be a cover 3 zone blitz. So, only 6 guys in coverage. New York has a player running deep down the field, but is then going to cut over the middle. So this is a good situation for the Giants, as he could get into a gap in coverage, and spoiler alert, he's going to get into a gap in coverage. That's where Jones is looking. And if you look at Jones, he fakes the handoff, he looks over there, and the second his player is open, he makes the throw, and he's able to get the ball down the field. Jones is a good player. Like, when Jones is making the correct decisions, he plays very good. His issue is that he's too timid out there. And listen, I don't want to, obviously, it's not like they were having guys wide open all night and Jones just wasn't throwing it to them. Obviously, the Rams defense played very well. There wasn't a lot of guys open, but Jones didn't help himself that much either. I also want to be very clear, Jones absolutely can turn it around. I'm not trying to say Jones sucks. I'm just saying that Jones has some issues he needs to work on. Like, this one's another example of it. It's again going to be zone coverage, and this is perfect for the Giants as they have a zone buster, where the way it works is that you have 3 players run in the same area, where the curl route's the one that's going to get open, because you have 2 Giants who sort of spread out and run routes across from each other, which is going to sort of widen that gap in coverage, as you basically are going to have 3 LA players who can potentially cover, you have basically 2 LA players who are trying to cover 3 Giants players, so somebody is going to get open unless an LA player who's far away makes an incredible read and is able to get over there and make a play. Now, the line doesn't do an incredible job, but it is a blitz. They're doing their best, and if you look right now, the Giants player, he's getting ready to cut, and Jones is in the throwing motion. So you would think that he's going to throw this football and pick up the first down. And keep in mind, this is the blitz, and there really isn't room to run for Jones. However, Jones is instead going to pull it back, try to run for it, and runs directly into an LA player, which is just an absolute mistake. It's just something you shouldn't be doing. And this is Jones's biggest problem right now, is he plays timid. He doesn't throw the ball when he should be, and his pocket presence isn't very good either. He's a good runner of the football, but he doesn't choose his moments well, and it's a real problem for Daniel Jones. It really is. And, I hope he can turn it around, but, he has work to do. He absolutely does. Because I actually think this Giants team is better than people realize. I think their defense is good. I like their defense. They have a lot of really good pieces on their defense. And I do think that their offense has some pieces as well. The offensive line needs some work, obviously. But I think that this is a team that can get better. I do think that for Jones, though, I almost wonder if he's had a lot of turnovers so far in the NFL. I almost wonder if there's been a bit of a confidence thing. And if I'm Jason Garrett, the main thing I would want to do is not even worry about X's and O's. Is just worry about in between the ears of Jones and kind of sit him down and say, listen, man, you got to be making these throws. You got to take these chances. Let's be real. We're 0-4. We're not a playoff team. Let's take these chances, see what we can get away with and what we can't get away with. Let's see if we can get away with some of these aggressive plays. And you know what? Maybe make a play that was too aggressive and it results in an interception. That would be okay. It really would be, because we're just trying to figure out what we can get away with, so next year we'll know and you'll be a much better quarterback. That's the mindset, because at the end of the day, if you play not to lose, you end up losing. So really, Jones has some work to do. And listen, I'm not a Jones hater. He's had a rough season so far, but honestly, there's a lot he does very well, and he had some incredible games last year, so we'll see what he's able to do the rest of his career. But yeah, disappointing game, and so I think he deserves to be called out for it. But hopefully he turns it around, and I think he will. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.